Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So this is going to be a really simple video about the exclusive OR operator. We're going to look at different properties of XOR and also glance at the truth table of it. And at the end of this video, we're going to try to solve a question that is going to be based on the concepts that we grasp throughout this video, right? So without much rambling, let's take a look at the truth table of XOR. Now, it is very apparent by looking at it that every single time the two inputs are differing, we get a true answer, and every single time the two inputs are the same, we get false. So that is basically XOR. So let's look at the first case. So x and y, they're the same, they're false, so we get 0. X and y, they're differing, x is true, y is false, so we get a true output, and here they're also differing, so we get true. And here they're the same, they both are true, so we get a false output. So that is the only thing you need to keep in your head. XOR gives you a true output every single time the operands, or those two inputs, are different, and it gives you a false output when they're the same, right? So very simple. Now let's go to the different properties of XOR. We're going to look at 4 important properties of XOR in this video, right? So let's try to glance at the first one, which is the identity property. Now it says that any number XORed with 0 will give you the number back itself. Now let's try to demonstrate it. So let's take a number 5 and let's draw out the binary representation of 5, which is this. And if we XOR it with 0, I'm not making the rest of the bits, I'm just taking 3 bits because to keep it simple. Now if we do this and we do the XOR, we'll get 1, 0, 1, right? Because these two are different, these are the same, and these two are different again, so we get 1. So what did we get back? Eventually, we got back our same number, right? So that is how it works, right? So we understood the first property. Now let's look at the second property, which says that every single time a number is XORed with itself, it gives you 0, or it gives you nothing. It just cancels out, right? So it is a very common sense logic, right? Because every single time the bits are same, you get 0. So obviously the binary representation of any two number would be the same, right? So it's just gonna do like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for every single bit, and you're gonna get at the end, you guessed it, a big 0. So that's how the self-inverse property of XOR works. Now it can be handy, and we're going to use this property in some questions, so you must know this. Now the third one is very simple. It says that the order in which we XOR the items, it doesn't matter. So x XORed with y is the same as y XORed with x. So that is the commutative property, which was a very simple one to understand. Now the last one is also very straightforward, but it is that much important, right? So this property just says that XORing of elements can be chained together and the order doesn't matter, right? So that's what the associated property of XOR says. So it is very apparent by the representation of this property, right? So we're going to try to leverage this property in our question that we're going to solve and try to come up with an answer. Now let's go to our LeetCode page and try to solve this question to kind of further our grasp in this topic. So it says that we have an array of integers and every single element in the array except for one appears twice, right? So we know, we gotta understand what it's asking from us. So we need to find the single element that is the unique element, right? So what do we have to do in here? We know that, and by the way, we can do it in other ways too, like we can run a loop and we can check the count. If the count is 1, we can just return it, but that is a nonsensical way to do this because we have a better way and a better approach and a more efficient solving ability. So we're going to look at the second property of XOR. It says that if we XOR a number with itself, it gives you 0, right? So we know that every single element in this array would be, apart from 1, would be appearing twice. So if we just keep on XORing them, So at one point, they're all gonna become null, right? Let's take an example. So let's say the array is like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, right? So this is the array. I'm not putting commas, just put it in your head. Now we need to find this one. This is the unique one, right? So we need to find it. So if we XOR every single item, let's say we XOR these 4 items, right? Now we know that if we XOR these 2, because they are the same number, by the second property we know that this is going to give us 0, right? This is also going to give us 0, right? And if we XOR these 2, is just going to give us 0 again. And now if we XOR these 2, like 1 with like 1 XORed with 0, it's going to give us 1, because we know from the first property that any number XORed with 0 gives us the same number back. So that's how we can leverage the properties in order to find the unique number, right? So it's basically the XOR of every single number in the array. That's how simple it is, literally, because the number that are appearing twice, they're just going to cancel out. And it is also kind of important to notice that associated property is also coming into play, because we know that XORing up items can be chained together. So that's why we can be assured that in any order they are, if we kind of XOR them together, they're going to cancel out. So the ordering doesn't matter, because they can be chained together, right? So that's why the fourth property was kind of useful. So let's try to code the solution. It's a really simple solution, and let's see if it works. So let's take a variable that is gonna be storing our answer. So I don't know, integer x, and let's initialize it to the first index of the array, which is gonna be the first number in the array. So nums of 0, right? Now we're going to run a loop till the end of the array to XOR every single item till nums.size I++, and x is basically going to become x XORed with nums.i. By the way, this is not going to be 0 because we already took nums.0 like in x, so x is already the first item, so we're going to make it 1, so it starts from the second item, right? And then x will be XORed, like x will be the answer after we XOR every single element in the array, right? Then we can just return x back, and that will be our answer. Let's try to run it. And we see that is working. Let's try to run it again for more cases, and let's submit it. And it works. So that was it, guys. Hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully you learned a lot about the XOR operator. We're going to be posting more questions regarding the same bitwise operator in the future. And yeah, that was it. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends, like this video, drop a comment, and have a great day. Thank you.